Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Yanni Root.
And I'm just Terrell. You ever been out somewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Yeah, well, we are those people. We've been having these conversations since college.
Yep, it's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts podcast, Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, Season 1, Episode 4 recap. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, and please leave a review. Need to zoom in a little bit
Indeed.
more.
Yeah, zoom in some more, man.
Sorry,
Oh, not too
that's
close.
better.
Jesus Christ, don't hurt us.
Kiwi, what's happening? Karen, good to see you.
So how many vodkas are you in? Because, it is a holiday weekend. You don't have to work tomorrow. How far
I
are you?
don't.
I notice you have the white liquor going, so.
Yeah, this is number 3 because I told you I've cut back on the dark. So this is number 3.
Well, since we're doing a black ass show, I got a black ass drink.
It's racist.
Yes, I am. I we put that short out today. Kitty asked, Terrell, did you remember your cologne?
I did.
Okay, good.
God, I can't remember which one I put on today, but it's not Burberry. But yeah,
It's okay. They can't scratch and sniff anyway.
yeah. Give myself a little spritz.
Do you feel better now?
I feel pretty. That's all that matters. I feel like a handsome gentleman.
Yeah, because there were so many jokes to come after that. Well, here we are, episode 4, man. Phil's gone, Mariah's gone, and we're picking up exactly where we left off last episode, which was Nick letting everybody know that he has a girl. And when they're asking, well, who is she? Why haven't we heard of her? And she says, she wants to be private. You got to respect that, right?
No, that whole situation was hilarious because they bring this. So Nick drops that bomb. And everybody's like, wait a minute. You were sliding our DMs and fire eyes and all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we find out more about this woman, they've known each other for many years.
Yes.
And they've been dating for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, so you've been dating for a year and a half and you're sliding to the DMs and saying that, oh, that's my wife. And then he's gonna say, I never said that.
Yeah.
And the producer's like, yeah, we have it. You did say that. And I thought Alex, because like Alex is gonna get his back, right? Because that's his
Right.
LB. So he's like, hey, I didn't know. Maybe I would have said something different, but Alex turned into a politician. He's like distancing himself
Yeah.
just a little bit. I didn't really know about all that.
Mm-hmm.
Had I known, I probably would have said something, but I don't know.
But let's be real. It's not his place to tell everybody else. Okay, that's not his place to tell on his frat, tell on his LB
Right.
about what's going on personally. Here's the thing. They should have asked that question.
They should have asked, do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, why not?
I agree with you. I
Yeah.
agree with you. If someone slides in your DMs, you should be like, hey, really nice to meet you, sir. Do you have a girlfriend? No. Are you married? Are you single and available?
Ask all the questions.
Yeah. Do you have any children? Do you have any babies on the way that they're not born yet? Like, I think you do have to ask some of those specific questions. So you're right. They should have been like, hey, thanks for sliding my DMs. Tell me more about yourself. First, are you single?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a girlfriend? And what is your intention of reaching out to me in my DMs?
It's like guys say that they when guys use the line like, oh, your man must be waiting for you to get home. That's a question. It's hidden in a statement, and like Kitty points out, they weren't that interested. So why are they so upset? Why, if none of them were interested in this man, why are you upset?
Because the immaturity of all of them. That's what it boils down to. But even still, they have a right to be upset because he was trying to holler.
Mm-hmm.
And now apparently has a girlfriend. Once he realized that no one's interested in him, so now he's gonna come out the closet and say, hey, actually, I have a girlfriend and we've been together and I'm happy.
And she's
because none of y'all wanted me anyway. Yeah.
She's an attractive woman, but you know what? The problem, he was looking at his girlfriend like a parking space. As soon as you get one, A better one becomes available. He was trying to see if he could get no sexual.
He was keeping his options open, and maybe they weren't. Maybe they're together, but they're not like in this committed relationship. I mean, who knows? No idea what's going on in their world, but I do think he was wrong for doing that, shimmying into everybody's DM. You have, as I said last week, and I think the ladies were right for calling him out on it.
Facts. So the next morning, it's the morning workout. Everybody goes for a morning workout. The women went for mimosa walk.
Right.
And the fellas go for, Drill Sergeant Silas's workout. Is that how y'all do each other? Because he tried to kill his frat.
No, because like I was on Preston's side. So I'm like, wait a minute. Hey, Silas, I didn't pay for this. Mm-hmm. And even if I did pay for this and I want to stop, I paid for it. And so when I say I'm done, I'm going to go on a mimosa walk now because I'm tired of these abs. Don't judge me. Just say, hey, great job, and move on about your business. But like, why are you worried about you? Bro, you want me to hold you accountable? I'm like, dude, who the hell do you think you are, Silas?
Exactly where I told you he was and who he was. You're like, Gunny Silas. That's hilarious. But, here's the thing about it. Because Silas then asked the guys about that free drink discussion that happened the night before. And Nick stands up for the women saying, look, Jasmine and her girls have been going out doing this for a long time, right? She knows how to take care of herself. It's not like she's going to go out and, oh my God, all of a sudden somebody buys her a drink and they're going to, snatch up and throw in the trunk of a car and take her away. She's been doing this a while. She's got her girls with her. It's okay. You stop controlling her.
So I agree. But here's the caveat. It's all good until Jasmine gets roofied from a free drink. And then he's like, see? It's like, that's my thing. It's like, don't even put yourself in a position to do that. And that's what she's doing. She's putting herself in an unsafe situation to get a bunch of free drinks because you just never know. Again, she needs to watch a lot more Law and Order SVU, learn that lesson because you just never know. So for Silas, his concern is that you and your friends are so fun and flighty that you might let your guard down. And
that's not why he is so protective. It's not because he's afraid she's going to get roofied. Let's be honest. I understand why you have to say that, but
I that's my whole point. That's where I agree with him having an issue with that. Also agree with him saying that he's not going to take any marriage advice from somebody who has a secret girlfriend.
That was funny. That was a great.
That
line.
was funny. I was like,
yeah,
that's your brother trying to come in. Well, do you think you're controlling? And I'm just looking at Nick. I'm like, who the hell are you? Because I've never given. Let me think about it. Because I thought about this watching the show. Because I made my notes that says I've never. I've given some advice, but my advice wasn't anything about their marriage. My advice was like, hey, if you don't do nice things for her regularly, put it on your calendar and just give yourself a little reminder. Okay, Friday, 24 hours before the event, I need to order flowers, get them delivered just to say I love you. Great. Like that's something you can do whether you're married or just in a relationship. But I've never told someone, hey, you're really too controlling in your marriage and you can need to dial it back. I would never cross that line.
Okay, but the man is controlling. Everybody sees that. We watch the show and we see that. So let's not act like he's not controlling. He is controlling. He tried to be controlling in a damn workout.
He's controlling, but then also the more we learn about Jasmine, it's like I see why these two are together. Because they bring something that they need each other. She needs that controlling structure because every now and then she wants to go hot girl summer and he's going to have to like dial it back or be like, okay, it's okay for you to do hot girl summer this week within these parameters.
He doesn't want it for this minute. Unless it's with him at night in the bed so that everybody else can hear. Now, before we get to Amir had an emotional moment, but before we get to him real quick, Alex and Jordan were talking, right? As they're filling up the, they're blowing up the, while Silas and Nick are having their conversation, they're blowing up these pool toys and floaties. Is it me, or did Alex get a hell of a tan and look like Soul Man?
No, but what Alex was doing is in true form to their character. He knows that Amir has a thing for Jordan. He's not even tried to put his stamp on Jordan, but now he has some time. All of a sudden, he's trying to get his little holler on. I was like, I see what you're doing there, Alex.
Let's not.
I see what he's doing. He was trying to holler.
He was interested in Jordan from the get-go. Because remember, when it was Amir, Jordan, and Alex. They were having this conversation. And when she told everybody she'd been celibate for a year, and he's like, oh, yeah, I've done that before. When Amir was like, oh, Jesus, I can't do that. So he already laid that down like, okay, she's on the vibe that I'm on. We're resetting ourselves. This might work out. There could be something there.
So you're saying they're both like ready to hit that reset button?
Hey, Control Alt Delete. Sometimes it works.
He knows how to ease her right back into the streets.
He might. All he needs to do is ease down his street. Doesn't need to be back in the streets, just in his street. Now, Amir, on the other hand, in the kitchen with Bria and Preston, and he had a very emotional moment.
He did, and I know that people in the comments are probably going to beat me up for this, but I get so annoyed by the whole biracial thing and black people don't accept me because I'm mixed. I understand what he's talking about. I've had black people not accept me in places. We talked about Memphis, right? I've had people judge and not accept me, but
it was Memphis though. I mean, let's be honest.
But I'm just saying, like, there's white people who don't quite get along or approve of interracial dating in the white community. There's Hispanics, Mexicans that don't approve of it. There's Asians. It's not a black thing. But for Amir to feel like now he realized there's different levels of being black and what that looks like, I call BS, because you could have easily connected with other people if you wanted to. Nick, who is a black man and a Kappa, invited you to this whole shindig. So I'm not saying he had to join a fraternity, but there's options. You live in Austin. There's the Urban League. There's all these different groups that are here. If you want to connect with these other people, you can. And if you don't want to, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't break out the tears about black people don't accept me. I've never felt black enough. It's an annoying story that you hear from a lot of people that are just mixed. It just gets frustrating to me to hear that.
High Vibe says, I didn't understand that. Agreed, Terrell. But he doesn't look biracial, so how is this happening? What do you mean, how is this happening? He grew up with his Lebanese mom because his black daddy left them. Okay, let's make that straight. Let's put this out here again. His black daddy left him. Who could have been
we don't know that. There could still be a long line to get that pack of cigarettes he was going to go get. We don't want to make any assumptions. We don't make any assumptions. But what I'm saying is, if you just see, and I agree with High Vibe, and High Vibe, I love the fact that you agree with me. This is what makes you dope. So if he were to walk into a Macy's, I see a black person.
Okay.
I don't be like, wait. I don't think he's black. Hold on. There's something else there.
You're missing the point, though. You're missing the point is the love, because what he saw was so many variations. He already said he had never been around that many black people at one time. He said that coming into the house. Okay, so it's not like we didn't know that. He'd already
There's 10. There's 10 so people in his house.
Obviously, he went to a very white school.
He's not been around 9 black people at one time. I call BS. I just don't believe it. I think it's more the story. I just don't believe it. I just call BS on that. You can't tell me that in Austin, Texas, I live here. Mm-hmm. I can be around more than 9 black people at once. I don't always, but I could.
And why? Probably because of the stereotype. Which is
like where I live, like I'm in a different side of town. I'm not close to downtown Austin.
I'm about to say I've been in your neighborhood. I didn't see 2 black people besides.
And there's actually
I looked in the mirror, it was me and you.
There's actually a lot of black people here in Pflugerville, Round Rock area. There's a lot. And so there's some spots I can go to that if I want to, but I just can't imagine that his whole life, this is his first time being around this many black people at one time. I just call BS on that.
You act like Austin is Houston. Come on, and he lived in Houston. I can agree with you, but come on, man.
Okay, but if he's in Houston, Even if he was Asian, there's a little Asian community in Houston. If he wanted to go be
There you
around
go.
Asians, you can't.
He-
There's opportunities for him to be around black people. That's what he wants. But I just don't think it's fair to say that black people don't accept you because you are mixed. I think every race has its issues with that equally. I don't think that black people are the worst about it. And so for him to feel the
I
way
can't
that he's
say
feeling,
that.
I'm just like, I just doubt the sincerity of it.
Okay, Donut Daddy says nobody biracial has said, "Let me join the Urban League to fulfill rejection of one's black dad." Ever. Thank you. Because look, I'm gonna tell you something. Here's the difference, right? And so I used to be an RA at UTSA, right? I
Right.
go to Fayetteville State, and we go, and I'm like, okay, well, about being an RA as well. And they're like, well, our students are a little different. They just because I happen to speak the King's English, they're like, well, our students are a little different, and they're very territorial. My mom was like, where the hell did she think we come from? Everybody where we grew up was black. Where I was born, where I was raised, we were black. We were blacker than any place y'all have been. Where the business owners on every level, the politicians, they were black. So it's a very different thing for him. And I say that just to say this. You cannot just, brush what he went through off to the side. Again, he grew up with a Lebanese mom. He never got a proper fade until he got out of high school, okay? So this man, they did not accept him. And that's the problem. And this happens a lot here. And I'll tell you this, here in this country, it happens a lot where
It does.
just slightly different. And you're not exuding the lowest common denominator. You're not black enough. Let's not act like that's not something. Come on, stop it.
Okay, it does. But here's my frustration with that. You got Amir, who used to get picked on when he was little. So he goes to the gym and gets all swole. And just last week was ready to whoop Billy Badass in the house.
Damn right.
And then on the same token, he's crying because, black people never really accepted me. Start hanging around black people if you want to. Start connecting. Deal with your.
Stop that.
I'm not shaming them for crying. There's nothing wrong with crying. My issue is this thing you're talking about black people not accepting you. Go out, connect with people, and start to change that if you want to. If you don't, hang with the people you've normally been around, but don't make it seem like. No, he is really projecting that it's black people that don't accept him because he has this Lebanese heritage. I'm like, that's not fair to say that all black people don't accept you. And everyone in their house has accepted him. I mean, they had to check him. They had to check him on the fact that he wanted to either, do you want grilled fish or fried fish? Just like it's black people. We're going to fry the fish. Like,
what's wrong with having both?
There's nothing wrong. It's just
that's the problem. Here you go. That's the problem again with the black folks.
It goes back to the mac and cheese. It goes back to the mac and cheese debate. So
why can't we have options? God damn it. Okay, look.
There's rules to this shit.
Let's be fair. He just didn't want that grease smell all throughout the house, right? But let's be fair. This is his time to be in a house with all black folks, nothing but black people around. He's in there, and he got emotional about it. Let him have his moment. Stop. Don't.
Fine.
Come on, man.
I don't knock him getting emotional. What I just knock is this whole notion that he keeps putting out there about not getting accepted by black people. I just don't think that it's a fair statement because he really generalizes. He can't say like it's the black people in this neighborhood I went to. Or this high school I grew up in, the black people in that high school hated my guts because I was not 100%, but you don't make it seem like black people as a whole don't accept you. And that's kind of what he pushes out there. I don't like it.
Well, thank God your frat brother Preston and Bria were not like you and they offered support to him because too many people would try to joke on him. Nikki B says, Yanni, come on, bro. Grill fish. Look, man, I was on the grill all weekend.
Yeah,
I'll grill anything. I'll be honest. I do not like a lot of fried stuff. I'm the first person to tell you I don't like a lot of fried stuff. Why? Because that greasy smell sticks around the house a lot. And ladies, let me tell you this: if you fry a lot, when you go see that man, he can still smell all that grease on you too. I'm gonna point that out. All right, little tip from experience.
Well, I get it, but like to me, I'm not a big like fried wings, love it. But
Mm.
when it comes to fish, a good old fashioned fish fry, if done right by the person, if they know what they're doing, that flavor is phenomenal. And so I would rather the fried fish than a grilled fish. Well, it's not a fish fry, just a grilled fish party. I wouldn't want that. Give me a fish fry.
Well, since we're talking about all this food, let's get to dinner where Jasmine brings up Nick's girlfriend and the fact that he had asked Shanice to be his wife, right? And she brings this whole thing up again. I like how Preston, again, your frat brother, he had a great episode because what he do? He broke the ice with a joke. They started swag surfing at the dinner table. I'm like, you know what? All right, I kind of like Preston. See, I said something nice about an alpha.
Thank you. Yeah, Preston's cool people. We all are. You just have your
Not all.
blinders on. No, we all are. We're pretty amazing. So yeah, I think Preston's pretty cool, and I like how I think he understands timing and knows like when to get himself involved in conversations and when to just let that stuff play out. So he's
Facts.
not the focal point of the drama that happens in the house. So I like how he carries himself.
Now, here is the big battle that happened in today's episode, right? Bria versus Silas and Jasmine. And it all starts when after dinner, Bria sends a message to the group text, which we had no idea they actually had the group text going, about how excited she is to have Simon staying for a week. Silas is like, wait a minute, hold up. Did we okay this? And then, that's before, of course, he gets his on and then realizes that the cameras actually can see in the dark, which I thought was kind of wild.
I just don't get that at all, but whatever. You're smarter than that. Y'all knew what y'all was doing.
Exactly.
Make your family proud.
Let's be real in this sense. Jasmine goes to talk to Bria first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she says, I'll deal with it in the morning. So the next morning she talks to Bria. And she says, well, we have to be kind of cautious because of Phil. And Bria's point, Simon is not Phil. You can't compare the two.
Right. Because that's her boyfriend. Phil was just a fun guy that they invited. But that whole situation, that exchange bothered me. Because I'm like, well, why does the house have to say it's okay if Simon comes and stays with him? Like, why is this like a house decision? Bria had already brought it up to Jasmine. She already explained that he was going to be there a week. Mm-hmm. Because he's coming from Germany. He just can't come for the weekend from Germany. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So I don't understand like why this is a deal. And Bria did tell Jasmine before.
And even when the producer told her that, she didn't want to believe it.
No, she didn't want to believe it. So I think Jasmine is 100% wrong in this. And then, of course, they had to give Shanice a little bit of attention because apparently she had her monthly sex, that night. And I was just like, Shanice, why? Like, I wouldn't even want you. Because it's like she's beautiful, but the more she talks, it just keeps going down. Like she's a 5 for me.
Why?
Because not on the looks. Just everything about her.
Men have done all along. Why?
No, I don't like dudes who talk like that and move around like that. If you're doing whatever, you got all these women, you're doing your thing, that's your business. Mm-hmm. But when you start talking about it, bragging about it, I just don't respect you. And so I just look at Shanice, I'm like, why are you doing this? You already have enough negative stuff about you out there. Mm-hmm. Are you just doubling down saying, screw it, I'm going to be the villain and people want to tell stuff about me, I'm just going to ride with it or what? I don't get that.
And Shanice jumps in the middle of this just simply because that's who Bria calls to vent to because of everything that's happening. Because after she has this conversation with Jasmine, she vents to Shanice. But then next thing you know, she's having a conversation with Silas. And then she tells Silas that she thinks his and Jasmine's decision is based on race, which totally offends your frat brother immediately. Like, oh my God, I've been in the trenches with white people and Hispanic people and people of all races. How dare you call me racist?
I agree with Bria on that one. Sorry, taking Bria's side. Because yeah, that's like saying, I have plenty of black friends. I'm not racist. The nanny that raised me was black and I loved her like a mother. Like, stop it. Here's what I don't like about what Silas said in the car.
Mhm.
And they had to replay it when he said that his preference is that all black women are married and he prefers they marry black men. My thing is stop right there. Just say
Mhm.
you prefer all black women are married. It doesn't matter whether they marry a black man, a white man, a black woman, or a white woman. If they're married and they're happy, that's all that matters. But don't put your stuff on someone else. I don't think anybody should put their preferences on anyone else. And I think Silas was wrong. And I get if you know that one of the people in the car is dating this white dude, this German,
Mhm.
what are you saying to her? So that's why I think it's just bad. He should never even said that.
Okay, when you put it in that space, right? But at the same time, he can say, "I prefer to see black men and black women married." He can say
Mm-mm,
that. And it's okay to
mm-mm,
say that that's what he prefers to see. Now, if he says at the same time, black men should never marry white women and white women should never,
mm-mm,
black women should never marry white men, then that's a problem. If he's saying that you should never marry outside of your race,
mm-mm.
then it becomes a problem. But him saying that this is I prefer to see this, I don't see a problem. And I know what you're saying. You're like, well, if you're saying for you, that's one thing, but for other people, it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to say what you prefer to see. When you walk outside, do you prefer to see a cloudy sky or a clear sky?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Aren't
Hitler
you
had his
projecting that on the
preferences.
Lord?
No, Hitler had his preferences, and he spoke a lot about that.
No, you
So
didn't just bring up
I
Hitler.
did.
Stop
I
it.
did. I sure did. He had his preferences. And all I'm saying is that your preference, what you would date for you, does not apply to anybody else. If you are a black woman that says, I only date black men and that's all I will ever date, that's awesome. But
Hmm.
don't ever say that my preference is all black women should only date black men.
Hmm.
Don't even go there. Let other people do their thing because it's not about you. And I think what Silas said to me is wrong, that you
It's
should
okay to have an
not.
opinion.
It's okay to have an opinion for what you want. It's not okay to have an opinion of what you think other people should do. That's to
Hmm.
me, that's just wrong about society in general. I can't say I don't. That's like saying like it's my preference that men are with women and women are with men. There are no lesbian or gay relationships. Is my preference. It's not okay to say that. It's wrong.
Hmm.
And I think that when you have your preference, whatever that is, do you for yourself, but don't worry about what other people doing in their relationships. And I think that's where Silas is wrong with what he said.
But the conversation was being had, right? And here's what Kitty says. I don't see anything wrong with what Silas said. However, I don't think I like anyone in the house except, except for Preston. Call him the gay guy. But I feel you. There's a lot not to like about some of the people in the house. The more we get into this season, the more we realize this is really reality TV, right? Because it looks so good the first episode. Now, here's the thing about it though. To your point of it, right? He can say it. It's done. A couple of people have already made a point saying that they don't think it's about race, right? Like Darian does say though, he's white. That's why it's a problem. I don't. Do you really think that is the problem though? That it's because he's white?
I don't think it's the problem, but the thing is the fact that what he said that triggered Bria.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's thinking that this is a problem because this guy is German and white. But my
Mm-hmm.
whole point is Silas and them come across very controlling,
Yes,
and
go by that.
Silas and Jasmine. And I think if they would have had a better conversation and say, hey, look, everybody chipped in $300.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's going to be here for a week, here's what we need from him, whether it's you or whatever. Here's our Venmo to contribute to the food and everything else. So we're all good. It shouldn't matter. He's not taking up a room. He's staying in Bria's room with Milo. What difference does it make?
Okay, so we're gonna skip forward to the Toga party because while the Toga party was going on, everybody's doing the drinking games and eating the fish that they caught earlier, which we'll get back to. Bria starts packing extremely slowly. Silas goes upstairs and he even says to her, "We've already made an exception for Milo," which you know how I felt about that anyway, right? Like
Yeah.
her just bringing Milo along, and matter of fact, Lamonte says Bria made the decision when she invited her boyfriend in before she spoke to them. She feels she can do whatever she wants, and people are supposed to oblige her. I kind of get that feeling too. Like I'm with her in this case because she did have the discussion with them in the club while everybody was tipsy. But right, she does seem to do whatever she wants, and well, just deal with it. You're gonna have to deal with it. And the interesting thing that she said in this case was like, well, look, I want my man here so I can have some time, some quality time, because we got to listen to you and Jasmine getting it on every other night. Which apparently we didn't realize Jasmine was that loud until this episode.
Well, I mean, I would agree that that's pretty jacked up of them to be able to do that. Like, just tone it down, be quiet. You just don't. You're not in college, right? And to me, their immaturity, like even the Toga party and all that stuff, it's like they're trying to relive their college days. I just want to tell them grow up. But I disagree. I don't think that. I mean, is Bria a bit of a diva? Yes, but Bria told them about bringing Simon, and he's going to stay for a week, and here's why he's going to stay for a week. She's been upfront with all of that. And if they have any issue with it, they need to be more specific and say why they have an issue with it. If not, then I get Bria being upset about it. Yes, she brought Milo. Okay, big deal. She brought Milo. Do they ever do anything other than mission? If it works, hey, Nikki B, if it works, it works.
They try to stay under the covers. They knew their camera was on. I don't care what they say.
Hey, whatever position it is, like the staple singers, I'll take you there. Whichever works, do it.
She said Jasmine is faking. Now, look, here's the thing, though. Silas does call Bria manipulative because he says, like, she's just manipulating the situation in every scenario. And we get, of course, back to the controlling conversation, which ends the episode. And like I said, we're going to go back because this is just one of those things that as this conversation flowed throughout the entire episode, right? This controlling thing came back up. Again, remember, Nick told Silas he was controlling. Here comes Bria again. Are you finally going to admit that that Silas is extremely controlling?
I can see the controlling part. I see what people are talking about, and I get that. Yes, there's some of that, but also I see why Jasmine and Silas are together because they're both evil. If you look at how Bria or Jasmine goes outside when Silas and Bria were talking about, the whole Simon situation, and she's quick to get on Silas's side. Jasmine has no problem hollering, having sex in the house with all these people. It's her thing with what she wants to do. They're both controlling. There's a way that Jasmine in her mind had this whole event that she wanted to go. And Silas is trying to do the exact same thing. So they're both bad for each other. Well, I can't say they're bad for each other. They're actually perfect for each other.
Yeah. High Vibe says all that hollering for missionary. Yeah. Okay. And great point by Ronnie B says Bria should have mentioned the dog and her boyfriend when she got the invite. Remember I said that.
And she could have.
She did not. They didn't know
she
about
could
that.
have.
She did not. Stop
She
it.
could have. I'm just saying, come on now. It's a
they
show.
were drunk. They were drunk in the clubs. They don't remember.
Yeah, she could have.
She did not. You know that. You know she didn't. They did not. And by the way, you know how we talk about the camera being on in the bedroom? If the camera's in the bedrooms, you know what's happening. And that's why they stay under the covers. Let's not act like they're just under the cover. As a married couple, they're not under the covers every single time they're doing it. They're under the covers for a reason.
Because the camera's there. She can't get on top or whatever, or have him throw up against the wall or the window and get all crazy. They can't because the camera's in there.
Right, you can't flip her over and all that other stuff. And the camera is always on because remember when Bria called Shanice and told her that Alex told him why he wasn't feeling Shanice, and she's like, "Yeah, no cameras were there." And then the producers were like, "Actually,
yeah,
no." So we had the new arrivals that showed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the new arrivals come and Summer is the first one to show up.
Yep.
Both Nick and Alex say she gives Hillary Banks vibes. Obviously, the original Hillary and not the Coco Jones, the new Hillary from Bel Air vibes is what they're saying.
I didn't see that at all. What I mean by that is looking at Summer, I didn't get Hillary Banks vibes. I mean, you just can't throw on Hillary Banks because someone's light skinned and speaks properly. and joined the white sorority. That doesn't make her Hillary Banks.
Yeah, because she said she got kicked out of sorority because she didn't want to do the meetings and everything else. I'm like, no, which sorority do you think? Never mind.
Yeah, because they had Alpha Phi's in San Antonio. They weren't at UTSA, but they were at St. Mary's. And so I met some of them. They were all cool people, but it's different worlds.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't get Hillary Banks vibes from her.
Now, Jason, the flight attendant, showed up. Jasmine hugs Jason, and Silas, Mr. Controlling, in his feelings already. Because Jason, right, you may first look at him and say, well, maybe, and then you find out, no, that's a heterosexual man, straight man. Silas is in his feelings. Because if Jason was gay, Silas wouldn't have a problem. Why does he have a problem with Jason and Jasmine's relationship? They used to be roommates.
So I think that Silas has a problem because this is just my take. He doesn't trust Jasmine. If Jasmine and Jason had hooked up back when they were roommates before she ever knew who Silas was, it's already happened. Like, let it go. And if you be thankful that she sleep with you now and she's just celebrating your missionary skills, and just be happy with that. But I think that he doesn't trust her. And so he just comes across like this person. And hopefully he doesn't put any shade towards Jason, because Jason doesn't do with that. That's his insecurities that he's dealing with his own wife.
Do you think they actually did? It seems like Kitty thinks they did. Did it hook up at some point?
I have nothing to tell me that.
Right.
Or any excitement. You could easily try to put two and two together. She worked in the Playboy Club. And she had a roommate who was a flight attendant. And they could have hooked up one drunken night. I don't know.
But, okay, so it brings back the age-old question. We've always talked about this before. Can men and women be platonic friends, right? Can they just be friends? And I've always said when it comes to this that, yes, once the attraction has been settled. And I say that because regardless, you and a woman can be platonic friends. However, one of you was attracted to the other at some point or another. Maybe not immediately, but at some point or another, even if it never gets to anything and nothing ever comes of it, that attraction has to be settled like, yeah, but I don't want to mess this friendship up, or, it's never going to happen. Whatever it is, one or the other is attracted to the other, and that happens, right or wrong?
In high school, early college, possibly. But I don't think that is the norm. I think you can have people that are just platonic friends, and it's okay. The thing is that in Silas's situation, he has to trust Jasmine around these platonic friends, and just trust your wife. But if you don't trust your wife, it's not the platonic friend's fault. That's Jasmine's fault. So Jasmine could totally just be friends with these dudes. I've been in situations where I dated someone and I met one of their friends, and come to find out they used to sleep together. You know, they were like sex buddies. You know, I was just like,
How many friends did you sleep with?
Why didn't you tell me that before I shook this dude's hand and like got cool with him? Like, why didn't you? It's not that it would have made it bad, but just tell me like, hey, this is so-and-so. We used to hook up back in the day, you know, years before I met you. I'd totally been fine with it. But the fact that you didn't led me to believe like, okay, there's something more to this then.
That's a bad person who doesn't do that. Because here's the interesting thing. I remember there was a time I almost introduced a woman I was seeing to her ex. And the minute she realized I knew who he was and we were walking up to him, she jumped in front of me and said something to him first. Right? Which then automatically just goes, oh, because then all of a sudden, wait a minute. Oh, they know each other. Which I think, again, which is this point you're making. At least say something, right? So that you're not caught off guard. Here's the thing that Nikki is saying. Silas doesn't trust Jasmine at all. Bet she called him another dude, the other dude's name before.
Wow.
I don't know if she did that. But what he said this too. Here's the thing about it. He said, I've known Jasmine in the pandemic. This Jasmine around her friends? I don't know. So he's meeting a whole new person. And he's like, who is this? Because this ain't my wife.
Good point.
He thinks she's this goody two shoes. Good. Oh yes, yeah. I worked in the Playboy Bunny Club. We served drinks. That was it.
Stop it. Okay, I can't imagine he thinks she's some goody two shoes. And I'm not saying that working in the Playboy Club is bad, but you can't tell me that. Yeah, I worked in the Playboy Club, and I remember getting off at midnight and getting up early to go to choir rehearsal, and because I had to sing at the church in the morning, it was always hard. Stop it. You were wild. You did some things, and that was just what you did. I worked in the restaurant industry for 15 years, and it was wild. There's a lot of stories that I would never share on here, but it's just wild.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that he's surprised about some of this stuff. I think now that's like right in front of him because she's around her friends. He doesn't trust some of her friends.
No,
I think he's struggling with that.
The fact that he thinks Jordan can talk her into doing something wrong says a lot about what he feels, right? Silas don't know that woman. Here's what Naomi said though. Jason and Silas spent last summer together too. Now they spent some time together. I don't know how much of the summer they spent together. Said I'm sure they're on good terms. This is just TV talk. I don't know the way he looked because the way she hugged on him, he wasn't feeling that. Now I know we can talk about editing. It's only so much of that eye cutting you can catch. Those weren't replays. It wasn't just it wasn't just B-roll. Okay, they didn't catch him cutting his eyes a bunch of times and put it all together. No, that was in the moment.
I think Silas's inner Nino Brown is coming out. He's just looking at old boy, light skin with the blue eyes, just pretty mother, just mad.
Look, it's going to be interesting how this thing plays out because as we look and see what's happening in the next episode, you see Summer's kind of staking her claim. Are we going to see a Jordan, Summer, Alex love triangle with Amir sitting on the outside asking like, hey, can we make this a quadrilateral or something? Please?
I don't know. I'm rooting for Amir. I want Amir to get the girl. So Amir, go full speed ahead. I hope he gets Jordan. You got Summer, seem like she's interested in Alex. Alex interested in Summer. Nick has this mysterious girlfriend. Silas has Jasmine. Preston, they got to find Preston a dude too. Then everybody's covered.
Well, so here's the thing about this. Amir may lose his chance with Jordan just because he keeps trying to take her on these white boy outings, okay? He took a kayak and she's like, nah, this ain't for me. I'd rather be rolling in the grass with Alex than out here kayaking. He's got to get it together. And now his cooking, he's definitely got the cooking skills, so that's, the way to her heart may be that way. We'll see. But I don't know.
Maybe, but then also Jordan needs to open her mouth and say, I don't want to do kayaking. I want to go do this. And like say something. My mom used to say, closed mouth, don't get fed, right? Yeah. Say something. But you can't, he's just reaching like, here's things I like doing. Do you want to do this? But if she's not speaking up, what's he supposed to do?
Yeah, that's a good point. Interesting thing here is as we're talking about Naomi says, it's been a week. Dudes are moving slow. And then Nikki said that's Nick's cousin pretending to be with him to help him seem more attractive.
Maybe.
Oh, no.
Maybe.
Simply Steph had a question. Obviously we weren't going to really talk about this, but I'm the only person that knows this is a big thing on Jasmine's cheek. I'm so concerned. Why? I mean, people have birthmarks, and I think it's one of those things where it's probably just a birthmark, and people have interesting birthmarks at times, and some of them are visible, some are not. Now, it could be something else, but we don't know. What we should be worried about, really and truly, is Bria and that Lowry seasoning salt.
Yeah. Yeah. Jasmine might have that kiss by a rose from like Seal. Leave her alone. Let her deal with that. But Bria does not need to season anything.
Yo,
I was looking at all that salt she's put on the broccoli. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yo, Amir calling her out Like, no, I seen your man. Was that Jason who called him?
Yeah.
I seen your man. You didn't get that from him.
No, and I've been to Germany. They don't season shit. It is totally different in Germany. So I get it. But yeah, that was just a bit much. But I think all of us should just leave Jasmine and her seal thing alone.
Now, I just want to point out, since y'all want to talk about me and my and grilled fish over the fried fish, Kitty says grilled fish is good. That's true. I could always tell when people have eaten fish when they wait by, especially that fried fish. Yeah, because that fried fish has a certain smell to it. So
it does, but it's so good.
Okay, yeah, it's still not good.
So good. That fried catfish, get a good fish fry with some catfish.
Yo, oh, how about this? And you may have something about this too. The artificial lemon juice and all that Laurie's ruined that poor broccoli. Well, broccoli is terrible, first of all. Now, my daughter loves broccoli. I don't know. Obviously, she got that from her mama. But broccoli is terrible in the first place. So no amount of seasoning should make it taste good. But yeah, at least get some real lemons.
This is where I'm a control freak in the kitchen. If I'm cooking, don't touch nothing. I got it. Don't touch it. Because there's too many people seasoning, adding some stuff. Who do you hold accountable? When the broccoli comes out tasting like crap, whose fault is it? So I'm like, don't touch anything. This is I got the recipe. This is my plan. We're gonna work this out. Don't you put that crap on the broccoli. If you want to put that extra stuff after I've cooked it, great. But not before.
So what we're noticing is that alphas are also very controlling. Got it.
Did you say alphas or alphas? I just want to make sure I heard that correctly. Because you're kind of a grammar Nazi. Did you say alphas are controlling? Because I can't speak to that if alphas are controlling.
I was hoping that slipped by you.
Nope, heard that loud and clear.
That slipped out the wrong way. It was the bullet bourbon that let that slip out the wrong way. And I was hoping it just slipped by you.
Alphas? I don't know about alphas.
I knew better. Anybody else wouldn't have caught it, but you.
Yeah. No. We're not controlling. We are leaders. We're visionaries. We see how it's supposed to be, and we try to get everybody there.
That's all right, Nikki. That's funny.
Alphas.
Oh my God! Let's get out of here.
Yeah, you might need to get some water.
Oh my God, man! Look, you're already here. You made it this far. Make sure you hit the like button, and if you're watching this after, drop a comment. All right, just keep it classy, San Diego.
Yeah, definitely. Please hit the like button before you exit out, and then, as always, share this with your friends, and tell them about your favorite podcast.
Yo, before we're on, I just gotta say this already. Broccoli has dog hair in it. We know who touched it.
Well, now, but Bria could just say Silas pet the dog, and now he put dog hair into it too. Silas shouldn't put all that lemon juice in broccoli. Why you know that lemon juice? That's a lot of lemon juice.
That's a lot of lemon juice. It was. You got, and he seemed to be dumping it in one spot instead of all over the place. Heart DNA says, Terrell, I love how you handle differences of opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah, he sticks to his own point.
I've been friends with Yanni for almost 30 years. I've had a lot of practice.
And you're stubborn as hell. We know. Hey, I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm Just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us at Yanni Rude, at Just Terrell, and at RGRT Pod.
Yeah, send us some of your random thoughts or some of the bullshit from the internet. We'll talk about it on a regular show.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers. See, I have some left this time.
Oh, look at you. Enjoy the day tomorrow.